All right, welcome everybody. Hey, to the Implied Project. I'm Tony Martinez from Implied Magazine with my co-host Jamie Gaynor. On the other side, our in-house tarot queen. And we're excited. We've got our special guest, Sofia Silk, in the house.
Hi.
Hey. Straight from Daytona, where everything's warm while the rest of us are freezing.
Yep. The only thing I have to really worry about is rain tomorrow, and that's about it.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's too bad. For those of y'all that are watching as you tune in, please keep in mind if you want to have any questions for Sofia or anything, if you want to participate in the conversation, just post in the comments, and I'll throw it up on the screen so we can all see. Okay. And anyway, so welcome, Sofia. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We are going to find out everything about you. So let's start from like when you're still a little one, like you're in junior high school. What kind of cliques were you a part of? And
I was a theater nerd. I did a lot of musical
you were a
theater.
theater nerd.
I did a lot of musical theater, and I went to a
wow.
high school that specialized in theater for the deaf and hard of hearing. So all of our musicals and plays were also interpreted through us as the actors interpreting or having designated signers on the side. We had a really
That's awesome.
we had a very interesting experience with that, and it was always fascinating to have actual kids who were deaf or hard of hearing in it. So whenever we had to do certain choreograph, whoever was in front of them, they actually went off of their visual cues. So it was always like, make sure you have your stuff good so everyone behind you can also do the same. So it was a fun experience, but I was definitely a nerdy kid. I went to an environmental magnet school, so I know a lot about the Everglades that I really don't have to know.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was a very fun experience. I got a lot of my confidence in that part of my life. A lot of theater, a lot of trying new things for the first time and putting myself out there and acting. And I think
Mhm.
I remember every show I did, I hurt myself or I lost my voice. And it was kind of like a ritual for me. Like the show didn't go well if I didn't have an injury and working through it, or like my voice was so hoarse that I had to like yell into the mic in order to get my line out. But it was still fun.
That's
That's a
that is so
unique answer. I
fascinating.
love that.
Can you
Thanks.
so you can sign and all that kind of stuff?
Phew, been a long time, but I
Mhm.
think maybe very little ASL. Um, my spelling, like that usually is like more on point, but I have tried to like relearn everything again. And at one point, I was going to school for
Mhm.
actually to become a sign, to be an interpreter. And it
Mhm.
it fell through a little bit because I ended up doing more acting and everything. And then
Right.
I went out of school and became a flight attendant for a little bit. So
Oh wow.
very
Okay.
different fields of things,
Yeah.
which,
Of
yeah.
course. I'm assuming it's probably come in handy every now and then in the real world.
Occasionally, it's very interesting because sometimes, and it's actually a beautiful thing that like you can go to Starbucks now and you can see people that actually do know how to sign and interpret,
Right.
or just like little things and stuff like that. So it's kind of just diversifying out the world that we live in and being more aware of the
Right.
community that we have. And I think that's
Yeah.
that's pretty awesome. So yeah.
Yeah.
That is definitely awesome. Do you know anything any of that, Jamie?
I
No?
don't. Mm-mm. Only thing that I took Spanish. We were required to take 2 years of another language in school. I took 2 years or 3 years of Spanish. I'm like I can read it, but I can't speak it fluently.
Right.
Pronunciation is on point, but I don't know what I'm saying.
Right.
That's all
Right.
I got.
So
That's
then
it.
you became a stewardess or a flight attendant, I guess. And this
Yeah.
obviously out of high school, or did you go to college as well?
So I did a little college, and again, to me, I think the institution of school is amazing for some people. my mind just doesn't go there. So while I was going to school, I was actually working for a professional hockey team as one of the energy team members. So you want to when we used prior to COVID, the people that would hype up people in the audience at hockey games or basketball or baseball or whatever, I would be one of the girls that threw the t-shirts on the jumbotron. And yeah, I did a lot more entertainment stuff, and then I went into flight attending kind of as a gap year, and then it just expanded and I didn't go back. And then that's kind of where my modeling started, and the fun experiences that I had with that were very interesting. I think that's kind of why I feel like I'm more so creative in the sense that like I don't really fit in a box. Like a lot of people don't. I feel like you can't really categorize yourself as one thing. And so when I tried school, it just wasn't for me. And that's why like I'm a big proponent on people like my brother who are going to engineering school for 6 years to like get his master's and everything like that and become an engineer. And then like I have mad respect for those who literally came from the ground up and became artists and music producers. And it's just it's a very crazy thing, but I'm really happy with the path that I've taken and how I'm growing every year. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, that's the whole point of the show, is to show that there's, you know, these Instagram models or whatever they want to call them, you know, that they're very well-rounded people like yourself. You know, there's more to them than just what you see in these pictures.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I'm already fascinated already, and we haven't even gotten to the good
Yes.
stuff yet. You
I know
know,
there's other
so
good stuff.
what was it like as far as being a flight attendant? Because there's so many stereotypes involved with that particular job, and I'm sure it's a lot harder than people think.
It's you're responsible for, depending on your plane. Like I was part of a small subsidiary company that was owned by American Airlines.
Hmm.
So my planes were smaller. I ranged around, I think, like 100 to 200 people that I was responsible for with another person, depending on how big the plane was. So it was also kind of about putting on a show and just being like, "Hi, how can I help you?" Or make sure you push your bag all the way under the seat. And it's a very smiley thing, but at the same time, we have to learn certain regulations, and we also in school I go through all of the drills. So for large portions of it, you're put in a simulator and you have to remember to recall how, if you guys are having water landing or if there's any issues in situations, that you have to be that person in charge to help kind of calm everyone down who's freaking out. Because at that
Hmm.
point, the pilots are trying to either land the plane or call for help or something. And it's the safety proponent, but also like we don't give out wings anymore and stuff, but it's also like, hey, how are you doing? I know that we're probably gonna land a little late, but I have the information for the next flights over in the airplane in the airport we're gonna land into. So let me help you with that and try to make your connection as fast as you can. So it's a lot of communication, but also a lot of saving face. There's different dynamics to it. It's not just like, would you like a Coke with some ice? Or
Yeah,
it's
you
yeah,
brought
so
back so many memories when you mentioned the little wings, because I love those things. Like I remember that when I
Yeah.
first got on a plane as a little
yeah.
kid, and like, oh, I got a wing.
And it was
That's so
also funny
exciting.
because yeah, because I loved as a kid, and my dad works for Southwest, so I was blessed with being able to go to different places during the summers and during some of the school year. Actually, I think second grade I almost didn't graduate because I missed too much school once.
Right.
Yeah, because my dad took me out too many times. But we'd go to like places like Prague or Italy or even like here within the States, and I just see different things and you're exposed to different cultures. That it's really fun and exciting because you can
Yeah.
live beyond your own 2 feet
Yeah.
to see things. So.
Yeah. Forgive me for the little one in the background. It's way past
No
her
worries.
Yeah.
bedtime.
I am a
Yeah.
parent who 100% believes in like your kid traveling though. I have no issues taking my kid out of school. I mean, there's obviously limits to everything, but like if there's a choice between her sitting in a classroom or us going somewhere and her
Mhm.
experiencing another culture, we're going. We're
Oh yeah,
going.
for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a little bit easier though now. COVID has oddly made that better because now if we travel, she can do virtual. So it's easier. Thanks, COVID. I guess that helps.
I guess there's some
Okay.
pros to it.
Yeah, there's some weird benefits there. I was thinking when you were talking about all the things that you've done, and so I'm not gonna for everyone I know that is just waiting on pins and needles for me to guess her zodiac sign wrong. She already told me, so I can't guess it wrong this time. But it's a Leo. But all of these jobs make sense for your sign. You are like it's all leadership. It's all leadership. That's amazing. It's all like it's a little bit of performance and leadership skills. So that makes perfect sense for the Leos. I'm going to say that I would have guessed that if had you not told me. Obviously.
I'll give it to you. You got it, Jamie.
Obviously.
And pretend like I didn't say anything.
Yeah. No one knows.
So speaking of family, what was your family dynamic like? And were you the only child, or what's your family like?
So I was the only child for 8 years. And then I pleaded my parents, and they were like, I want a sibling. And then as soon as I turned 8, my brother came, and I'm like, I don't want a sibling. So
Man.
it was a little weird because it's a bit of a gap for us, but at the same time, we hated it when we were younger, but now we kind of embrace it a little bit. Like I have a better connection with my brother now, and
Yeah.
I come from a very kind of a close family. So like my grandparents moved from Hawaii to Florida to come literally live 2 doors down from us and to take care of us when we were growing up and stuff. And then my grandmother's also living in the house too. So I'm thankful to have my elders help shape my life and help me grow and everything. And then my little brother and my mom and dad. So kind of like the 2.5 kid thing, like that's like the lifestyle I grew up in, but just a lot of traveling. And I didn't have any pets until like I moved out on my own. And like this to me, it's like I don't have any kids myself, but it's like this is like my slow training for family and children one day. Like okay, making sure that they eat properly, that we're going to the vets, and if they're ever having issues and stuff like that and checkups. So it's a fun learning experience, especially with
Yes.
and I used to be a
My dog
nanny, so yeah,
is
it's
sometimes more needy than my child. So it's really good practice. He is. He
it's
creates sometimes more messes for me than my own dog does. So, yep, that
yeah,
tracks.
we just got over one of my cats having a UTI, and that was yeah,
Oh,
there was little puddles everywhere, and I'm like
yep.
freaking out at 12 at night, and I'm like, okay, what do we do? We call our friend that's a vet, and
Yep.
there's like, you got to take him to the vet. You got to see what's up. Maybe he has a clot, or maybe his kidneys or something wrong. Turns out he did have UTI, and I think
Mm,
because we went to South Florida and we went to this super healthy pet food place, and
yeah.
we transitioned their food, but they were so used to having prescription UTI like food all their life that we did that transition. And one of my cats did great because they're brothers, but the other one just didn't take to it. And then that was one of the biggest reasons why that happened. So
Oh.
yeah, it was again, like I said, a learning experience, but he's all good now. So they're actually
Mm.
cuddled up in their favorite chair, literally like yin yanging each other and holding each other. That's how they fall
Aw.
asleep. It's adorable. So yeah, 2 brothers and a dog.
I'm staring at my dog right now. He's gonna make an appearance. I bet he's digging. He's licking his feet. Yo,
Yeah,
Jonesy.
for me, thank God for the mute button. Oh, there she goes again. I'm trying to placate her with Nutella, so
I
hopefully
mean,
that'll work.
she's just trying to be part of the show, to aspire to
Yep.
be
Oh,
like you one day.
she wants to be with Daddy right now. She's very
Mm-hmm.
spoiled. Uh, anyway, going um, to your modeling now. Um,
Yes.
as far as from the notes I've got, apparently you got discovered while you were longboarding. So
Yeah.
tell us this, how did that work?
I was longboarding down Deerfield Beach because I was living in South Florida, and I had my headphones in, so I don't really, you're kind of oblivious to everything when your buds are in. So this short Greek man in a tiny yellow Geo car was just like, hey, hey, and I was like, okay, creepy dude, just keep going, just like I would just like skate by him, because I think I had to put more change in my parking, and so I roll back, and he's just trying to wave at me again, and I was like, okay, hi. He's just like, oh, no, I have to say something. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I take my earbuds out. I come up to him, very thick Greek accent. He's like, hello, my name is Christopher Marx. I was like, okay, hi, nice to meet you. He's just like, you're beautiful. I was like, thank you. And at that point, I think I was around my 20s. I was still in college. And he was just like, you should model. I was like, I don't think
Okay.
so. I feel like that's kind of was to me. It was just like I've done acting, but in modeling, I don't know. It's like you
Well,
very nice structure. And
yeah, sorry for
I'm a
interrupting,
professional.
but
You're
yeah, sorry for
fine.
interrupting, but I caught the when I was in my 20s thing. So you're not in your 20s anymore?
I heard that
Um,
too.
I heard that.
I will be 30 this year.
Oh my God, because you don't look it at
Yeah.
all. I was trying to figure it out. I was like, oh, she's got to be around 25, 26. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you look great for that.
Thank you. I will give that to my Asian genes, my mother's good connection. So that is definitely where I get, I think,
Right.
the baby face from. But
So with the so once I'm sorry, now going back to the Greek
you're fine.
guy. So he obviously turned out to be legit. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
we ended up, he's just like, I wanted to meet you and talk to you about possibly doing test shots. I was like, okay. And he's just like, well, we'll meet at McDonald's and I'll show you the magazines I've been in. And you can bring your friend, or anything like that for your safety and stuff, and we'll talk. It's like, okay.
Okay.
I talked to one of my good guy friends. He's like a brother to me, and I'm like, I need you to come with me to something. And he's just like, okay. So he comes with me, and we talk and we sit down with this photographer, and he shows me all of these magazines that he's been in. It's a lot of editorial and fashion and stuff like that. So that's where I started. I did a lot of like ball gowns and very Miami looks and West Palm Beach looks and stuff. And he's just like, I want to do a test shot with you. And I was like, all right. So he had a friend that had a little shop, like it was like in a small outlet, I guess. There were like four other stores and this little like shop that had a bunch of like beautiful gowns and dresses in it and stuff like that. And I did test shots there. And then from there, we ended up doing other things with a couture gown line. And then from that,
Oh.
I did a hair moment where I worked in Miami and I sat on stage, and a lady from LA flew in, and was given my picture, and was given what her idea of a good photo, like of good haircut was with like and she was using a razor, so it was a specific technique that they were all teaching their
Oh, man.
stylists. Yeah, so I got bangs and a short, almost short bob, so a shoulder length bob, and hi little one, and bangs, and yeah, that pretty much kept escalating, and now I'm working with Troy B Flying Photography, and it's come a long way, and I'm really excited and happy, and it's
Yeah.
always evolving, and some of them are weird experiences, and others I'm blessed to have. And I met a lot of interesting people, and someone has the cutest cherub cheeks I've ever seen.
Yeah. Again, thank God for the mute because you guys didn't hear the blood curdling screams. Yeah, but
Oh,
she
I
wanted
didn't
to be
realize we
daddy.
were muted. I was like, man, she's very quiet right now.
Oh no. Woof. We tried the Nutella, her mouth, of course, and she just wants. Now she's quiet because she's got daddy.
Yeah.
But so I do
Yeah.
apologize, but it's one of those nights.
That's okay.
That's all
No,
right.
but I was listening. That was great. So like with the modeling, and actually, let me go ahead and it ties in with the question Justin Sabbath has from our Facebook feed. What kind of model are you? So how would you define yourself?
Right now, I've transitioned a lot actually into implied bikini and lingerie. I still do fashion and editorial now and then. I actually, 2 weeks ago, we did ball gowns on the beach. And yeah, it was very, very hot and very funny because we had to find a section of the beach that wasn't littered with fishermen
Uh-huh.
because it was a beautiful sunny day. And I had to like squeeze myself into this purple ball gown and having sand all over the place, trying not to get sand in the dress. And he's just like, yeah, just look elegant and try to look into the sun because that's where I'm taking the photo, and not like give these kind of eyes. But yeah, it was a fun
Sounds
little
right.
experience. It's not too bad. I got a little tan, so yeah.
Yeah. I have a long time ago I did a formal gown shoot in Miami as well, and it sounds about the same. I was sweating, and yeah, a lot of this. I don't know though. It's funny because my daughter, when we get photos, if there's like any light anywhere near her face, she's like this. She's like, how are you not squinting? I don't know. You train yourself eventually. You smize and you're like, this will work. This is fine.
Yeah, I kind
I don't know how you
of
do it,
like,
but you do it.
I don't know why, but like I kind of like go into like a meditative state, and I
Yes.
just think I'm
Yes.
just like, all right, that shutter's gonna go off maybe like 5 times,
Mm-hmm.
5 to 10 times. As long as you
Yep.
keep your eyes open and not look like you're really trying,
Yep.
you'll get at least one. Like
Mm-hmm.
just sometimes that's what and that's usually how the photo shoots are. They're like, you just want that one good one,
Yep.
and we can call it.
It's mind over matter for that. I don't know.
Exactly.
Now, why did you prefer the implied type stuff as opposed to the fashion? Forgive me if I missed that part, but
Oh, you're fine. Honestly, I think it's because I ended up doing more bikini and plaid and stuff because I think I was just more exploring like my body and how I was feeling, and it ended up becoming kind of an empowering thing, like feeling very strong and how I like the way I look and knowing that, and I think wanting to also display that and I feel like that's kind of something that a lot of women do now in general is just like they want
Mm-hmm.
to feel this beauty and they want to feel this vibrance from within them portrayed on their photos. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so it's very like yeah, it's a beautiful sexual character that you're seeing on your screen, but it's just like there's a soul behind that, and I think I go along the essence of like getting that real beautiful spiritual essence. And I also teach yoga too when I'm not
oh, yeah.
modeling, which is very interesting. But um, yeah, I
That's a
think
great combination. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of identifying who you are and how you feel and what you want to be portrayed as. And I think I slowly started getting into more of a like, I like the way I look. And I think it was a confidence thing. And I
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed feeling like that and seeing that, oh, I do have curves in certain places that I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
It was it's very eye-opening. And then kind of kept on going from there. So yeah.
Okay. Justin has another question for you. What kind of Asian are you? If you know.
No, you're fine. I get this question a lot because apparently I don't look Filipino. I'm 100% Filipina. I've gotten a combo of Korean, Chinese, Japanese, and Hawaiian, which I partially am. I have a lot of family from Hawaii that live in Oahu and Kauai and stuff, and I spent a lot of my
Mhm.
summers there. But I am 100% Filipina, but I don't apparently look like it
I
compared to
think
other
I think you
people.
are. I can see that. Well,
Yeah.
I was a Navy brat, so growing up, I know that
That
a
you should.
lot of my dad's friends were Filipinos, and so I kind
Hmm.
of got used to the vibe, you know.
Yeah, my grandfather was in the Navy, so he moved my mom around a bit, and so like she
Hmm.
went to I think she did kindergarten in Japan, in Kyoto.
Hmm.
So yeah, and so when we went there, people were stopping her for directions, and she's like, "I don't speak Japanese," but they didn't stop me or my brother or my dad because we were like super tan. So
Mm-hmm.
Right, right.
makes sense.
Now, do you do anything else besides the modeling now? I mean, are you still doing the flight attending, or what do you do
I'm teaching.
now?
So right now, especially with COVID, I'm teaching yoga.
Oh, okay, that's
So
right.
I
See,
instruct,
that's an
yeah. So
actual
I
job.
instruct, yeah, as a national job. Yeah, so I went to Bali about,
Hmm.
oh wow, it's like 4 years, like 3 or 4 years ago. I did a
Hmm.
whole immersive program where I did my 300 hours of vinyasa training. So
Wow.
so pretty much you woke up in paradise for about 3 months and you're completely immersed into it. So you get your first 100 hours as like all of the basics and stuff like that. You learn your 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 sun salutations and everything like that. And then you slowly, once you do all of that, you get your certification. And you have the option to do different types of yoga. So it could be prenatal, it could be children's yoga. You can dive more into vinyasa. And there's different levels and degrees and stuff like that, like Reiki healing. There's a lot of fun
Yeah.
avenues. And I ended up doing a little bit more vinyasa training. So like that high power stuff, not hot yoga, but like a lot of movement, a lot of breath, um, flowing. That's the type of yoga I teach. But I also teach guided meditation and very relaxation for those who have PTSD or those who are suffering from anxiety or depression that kind of just want to take a more holistic route in
Mhm.
kind of cleansing themselves about it. So yeah, I teach yoga and I model. So kind of like you said, very immersive
That's a good, yeah, that's a
careers.
No,
good
that,
merge.
that's
Hmm.
crazy. I don't know, like for example, Jamie, I know what you do. Um, Obviously, there's hours of training there. I know from like when I was became a massage therapist, it was only like 40 hours of classroom training, and then I think it was another 40 hour. No, I'm sorry, 20 hours of just actual massage. So compared to like what you just said, 300,
It was like three
Wow.
that's
months. I missed
yeah,
that.
that's
Yeah, I was
crazy.
actually away for the election. Yeah, it was 4 years ago. I was
Mhm.
away for the election.
Yeah. Wow.
So I didn't hear any of that. We're not going to go political, but yes,
No, no,
I
we're
was
not.
not in the
Yeah.
Wow,
country
that's
for
a
that at all.
blessing. Yeah.
That
So
was
It
tired
really
of
makes
that.
sense for
I
where
was
you were.
involved.
You wouldn't know that. You
Yeah.
wouldn't have wanted to hear that negativity anyway.
Yeah, it
I
was
don't remember
it
what
was
the
fun trips again.
I swear, I feel like ours are over 1,000 hours, but now I can't remember. I was in school for like 10 months
Okay.
for cosmetology, but now I can't remember. It's been an eternity ago. I
Right.
don't remember. Yeah.
Yeah. With the caveat being, this was like a couple of decades ago, so I'm pretty sure it's more than that by now.
Yeah,
Um,
a friend of mine,
but
I
that's
think,
crazy.
said it was like 90 for a massage, but I'm not so sure if that's true. Like 90
Wow.
hours
It
total? I don't
might
know.
be. I think it's for just the basic getting your license, but of course you can always get more training and all that. But
That's
well,
wild.
well, let's go ahead and look at some of your pictures.
Yes.
Let me
I was
bring
creeping
them
around
up.
earlier on your page. Don't know if you saw me, but I was sneaking around on there.
By
I'm
all
gonna get
means.
closer and look.
Okay. And again, for those of y'all that might be listening to this on our one of our podcast shows, for the visuals on this, just click on the Instagram link that I know we've got posted for Sophia, and of course, you can also go to our Facebook or YouTube channels to see the actual video here. Um, Let me go ahead and bring her first picture up, and let's see here. I got too many things open here. Okay. Oops, here. All right. Bam.
That's a good start.
So, funny story about this actually. It was so the Airbnb is owned by a couple that are nudists that
Oh,
Like the
rent
company
out.
Airbnb?
Yeah, like the Airbnb we used for this photo. The
Oh, okay, gotcha.
owners,
oh, okay.
yeah, the owners. It wasn't a nudist, full nudist colony, but they had like nudist retreats or something like that, or people that came into Daytona that wanted to stay in someplace
Mhm.
comfortable. They had a really huge backyard and everything, and they had a beautiful bathtub and a beautiful little bathroom. And so when
Mhm.
we went inside, there were literally just like a bunch of photos of naked people on the walls when my photographer and I went into the Airbnb and we're like,
Perfect.
oh, yeah, it was great. And so like
Yep.
even the owners, like, because we were taking some implied photos outside, they were just like, oh yeah, feel free to use the jacuzzi. You can fully get naked if you don't mind. It's fine. If you want some privacy, we'll leave. It's okay. And they were just
Love
super,
this.
yeah, it was I think the advertisement for their Airbnb says clothing optional.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
yeah, sign me up.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I
definitely.
didn't know that filter was optional.
Pittsburgh is so backwards. This is amazing.
I gotta ask, how tall are you?
Oh, I am only 5'6".
Okay, well that's about right.
Yeah.
Not too short, not too
Uh,
tall.
It's like the Goldilocks.
Yeah. And for those of y'all again on the podcast, it's basically a picture of Sophia with her back to us and wearing a thong, and that's pretty much it. And you obviously look great. You got a fantastic figure, which I'm assuming is from the yoga.
Yoga and weight training, actually. I started
Oh,
doing that
okay.
probably like 4 years ago, in like rigorously. And also, honestly, it was to build up my glutes, because a lot of my family have kind of the concave body,
Hmm.
like butt. It goes inward instead of outward. So
Right.
I was kind of fighting genetics, but at the same time, I was like, I wanted to feel strong. So yeah, that was actually around the time that I started building up a little bit. So I
It's
Gotcha.
really
amazing. Those people that are listening but not seeing, sorry. Sorry for
Yeah.
your luck, because this picture is
Yeah.
really
Again, you
great.
guys do this. Of course, keep listening to our podcast because a lot of y'all listen to this while you're working out or driving or whatever. But when you get a chance, go to our Facebook or YouTube
Check it out. Yeah.
channels.
Look it up later.
Here's the next one. I'm guessing this one is at the
I'm sorry.
Wait, you broke up a little bit.
picture you have leather type gear
Oh.
facing the camera in a jungle type of thing.
Yeah.
You're still
So
breaking. You're
in
still breaking up a
a little
little
bit, still breaking up a little bit.
Oh, I am? Okay, sorry.
Yeah. That's okay. It was just the very first part of what you said.
I was just trying to describe the picture. This is you facing the camera. You've got a little tape over one breast and then some leather type gear, and you're in a jungle type setting. So I'm guessing you're at the same Airbnb, maybe?
Shockingly, no. There is a place actually called, I think it's called 1,000 Palms Hideaway, Hideout. It's like in
Mhm.
Miami, and you can actually rent out the space. It's really cool, actually. They have their own Airstream in a giant kind of backyard. So that right there is beyond a bunch of mangrove trees. And
Mhm.
yeah, so, and then there's like a rusted wheel, like a giant wheel that they have in one corner. There's a structure that is completely built up from screwdrivers, but they look like a giant dog.
Mhm.
So yeah, so there's actually, I think, a company in Florida, it's called VIP Bliss, and they throw like that's, you can call them swinger parties, I guess. I've never been myself, but this was something that they were advertising there. They were like, yeah, we do those types of events and stuff and parties there. And so there's a giant pool
Mhm.
there too, and a lot
Right.
of yeah, a lot of random hanging frames that you can like take photos in. So that
Right.
was
Right.
actually
Cool.
there. Yeah, and that shoot, I didn't have any bug spray, and it was like 95
Oh
degrees
wow.
outside in Florida,
Ugh.
and I got
Mhm.
it to the nines. And a lot, it's funny because Wizard, who did the editing for this photo, I was just thankful that it was just like, thank God you didn't get my legs, because I was bitten up so much by mosquitoes. But it was a really fun shoot. I did,
Mhm.
however, remember falling off the table because I was so oiled up from the photo
Right. Yeah,
that,
because you're like definitely glistening.
oh yeah, and I think that's also kind of like a Miami look, Florida look, is that like
Yeah.
very shiny,
Yeah.
shiny skin to like kind of accentuate all of the parts. But yeah, it was super fun, and that I actually had like no, I had 8-inch heels wearing that too. So I was standing in
Wow.
sand, and yeah, and he took the photo, and I was just trying not to slip out of my shoes or out of the sand,
Right.
but I got the shot, and it was really fun.
Looks amazing.
Thank
All
you.
right. Let's do the next one.
Nothing makes me more happy than bloopers from photo shoots. So if you have
Yeah,
any more,
exactly.
please share them because I start giggling like a child on these podcasts. They make me laugh.
Now, this one is of you in some white lingerie against a white background. Looks like a wall. Um, yeah, so tell us about this one.
So this one is from a really big mansion in LA, actually, or Hollywood Hills or something. I'm not so sure
Mhm.
where exactly in Los Angeles. But so this was actually from a photo event. Studios 401, I think, or Jason Studios was the one who took this photo, and the house had 3 different levels.
Mhm.
So the staircase was covered in glass, and you can walk down, and you can like just look up, and you can see everyone like taking other photos and stuff. So there was probably a group of like 12 models with this 3-story house with all of these photographers, and we're literally just running around and taking random photos and stuff. And it was really fun. I got to meet some amazingly talented models out there in California. And I think this was the first event. And so the light was perfect. It was really hot, of course, but it was a perfect like LA day. And he was just like, all right, just literally like stand next to the wall. And so like, all right, it was okay. And then slowly start undoing everything, and that was the shot. And I think I was flexing. I remember flexing so hard that like I had to gasp for air afterward because I was just trying to like squeeze myself. And in modeling, like, like you have to like pull up as much as you
Mhm.
possibly can to accentuate everything in the ribs and like
Mhm.
elongate as long as you possibly can. And that was probably one of my favorite photos from that shoot.
Yeah, it's
That
beautiful.
or yeah, it was a fun day. It was very hot. It was funny because other girls were like, we would take photos for each other, we would take behind the scenes of each other.
Uh-huh.
Or like we would hold a reflector and we'd be like in a bikini or a
Uh-huh.
dress and just like helping each other out, which was really fun. And like that's always like really great about the community too. So like some of us
Yeah.
models like really like helping out each other, and like you see each other's girlfriends and stuff. So it was a
I've had
fun event.
I've personally had really good luck with situations like that. I know that there's a stereotype that everything is catty. I'm sure I've encountered it, but I don't recall it. I love big group shoots like that and workshops where it's like chaos. I love that
Yeah.
shit.
And
Yep.
there's like 12, 20 things going on and stuff. And I
Yep.
think of the owner of the house was he had a Kickstarter for um, a beer pong golf kind of thing, or
Uh-huh.
putting thing. So he had a little green strips and stuff like that, and they had
Yeah.
holes inside them, and so you actually had to put your little golf ball into it like beer pong. So
Uh-huh.
that was a big thing because he got really wealthy
That's
off of
fun.
boxed flowers, yeah, that are preserved for like forever. So that was
Huh.
how he made his money. So yeah, he was very happy that he had a bunch of models and photographers running
Yeah.
around his house in bikinis
Yeah.
or lingerie. So,
Yeah, he made it. He
so
made
yeah,
it. This is
he was
That's
there.
awesome.
All right, let's move on to the next one. This one we actually just featured on our Instagram, did really well. Um,
Mhm.
this is her, she's kneeling sideways with I guess a kimono. And what do you call those types of hats? I actually wanted to know the technical term.
My father calls them a Chinaman hat. The reason
Okay,
why is because yeah, is they're worn in the rice paddy fields and like to keep just literally to
Mhm.
block your head from the sun.
right.
And in Hawaii, if you drive around the Big Island, there's an island that looks like a Chinaman's hat. So if you stand in the perfect spot, it'll look like the island's actually sitting on top of your head.
Oh,
So
neat.
yeah, yeah. But this one was this was from one of my favorite photographers, Troy B. Flying Photography, and we did this at I think his friend's house and stuff. And
Hmm.
it's this is a kimono I actually thrifted from Japan when I went there with my family on my mom's trip for Mother's Day one year,
Hmm.
and we brought that back, and that's actually my dad's hat.
That's
He had
Very
like
awesome.
cool.
yeah, so he has
Yeah.
like he had it hanging up like that'd be a really great prop for a shoe. Just like you can just take it. I was like, you sure? And he was just like, yeah, sure. Just make sure you bring it
Yeah.
back. So yeah, it's in the back of my car now still because I
Oddly
haven't
enough,
driven down, but yeah.
my dad also has one of those hats.
It's
My
it's
dad's
it's
a
a touristy
collector.
thing.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
dad's a collector. I have no idea where he got that. And it never really occurred to me that that was strange until right now. So, yep.
Our next one. Okay, this is you in a like a boudoir setting in front of an open window, or actually a glass sliding door. It looks like.
High
So this
socks.
was, yeah. So the cool thing about this is the socks. Fuel
Yeah.
Clothing, that's their Instagram. They sent them to the photographer Troy, and he was just like, we have to take photos in the socks. I was like, okay, cool. So we did, and then the brand Fuel Clothing, they're based in Park City, Utah, actually contacted me. He's just like, oh, like, did you like the socks? What did you think about them? Like, oh, they were actually just for the shoot. I didn't get to keep them. He's like, oh, we'll just send you some. I was like, okay.
Wait,
And so he just
I'm
sent me
listening.
like 4 pairs of socks. And
Hmm.
then I actually got another care pack, and he's just like, yeah, for your next shoot. And he just sent another 4 pack now. So I know I'm like veering away from the photo, but Fuel Clothing
No,
was
no,
the
those are
tube
cool looking socks.
socks.
They kind of make the photo.
Yeah, they're definitely,
Hold
yes,
on.
exactly. She
Hold
has
on.
them. And they say fuel on the toes. Yep. They're the most
Wait.
comfortable socks, and I wear them to the gym all the time.
Yes, they're really great.
They're very comfy. They're
A
so warm.
photographer friend of mine, we dated briefly last summer, but he wanted to photograph in these, and then we're not dating, and we didn't get the pictures, so now I just have the socks. That's the end of that
And your
story.
lucky
They're really
socks.
great socks. Really like
All
those
right,
socks.
we've got 2 more pictures. Here's another one.
Okay,
I
I love
like
this.
this black lingerie.
Yep.
I think that's from Style US. I think it's Style Wonder USA. They are their company on Etsy.
Hmm.
And that's they actually I just bought this set on Etsy right before I flew out to Vegas just to take this photo. And
That's awesome.
Stephen Bagley is or Bagley photo with an underscore underneath. This is from his Insta. Like this is the photographer. I met him in LA. And we didn't get to shoot a lot there. So when I was in Vegas this past December, he was like, yeah, let's shoot. And this is actually in his house. So he has this beautiful house, pretty much just a studio. It's very open
Mhm.
floor plan. Literally just has like a bed, kitchen, and like a little living space with a couch and a TV. So he's very minimal. And this is just in front of his door or in front of his like window that literally, if you look out at it, it's the full
Yeah,
cityscape of Vegas.
that's
It's
awesome.
gorgeous at night. Yeah. And we were trying to catch a little bit of like the someone's hungry. Catch a little bit of the golden light sun. So this was captured right
Yeah.
as the clouds were clearing, and her was like, "All right, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go." And so we took a few photos of this, and it turned out really great. And I was just like, "Oh my god, that's really me. I have a butt." It's like, "Yes,
Yeah.
you have curves. You look great." And I
So
was like,
for
"Thank you."
I'll describe this one for those who cannot see it. This is like it's a photo from the side, and yeah, your glutes look amazing. So what the weight training that you did, it works. Um,
Thank you.
I can see it. I like it. So wait, are they thigh high boots? Is that what that is?
Yes,
Okay.
I think that. Yeah.
Thigh high boots, super strappy, like lingerie one piece outfit, or it's not, but it looks like it is. And there's a lot of under boob. I just feel like that's just and it looks really great.
Yeah, I think because it was a two piece, and my manager was
Okay.
there. He was actually figuring out how to put it on
Yeah.
because there were so many straps involved that it took
Yep.
us like 10 minutes to figure out and put on the right way.
I'm sure it was a puzzle. It looks like a
Oh
puzzle,
yeah, it,
but
it
it looks
it's very
great.
intricate. It's beautiful,
Uh-huh.
totally worth it. But it took a while to like figure out. Okay, your foot goes here, and the
Uh-huh.
string goes this way outside on this side. The top was much easier. The bottoms were just like the weirdest thing because they
Yep.
had straps on the thighs and then like another two straps on the actual base of it. So like you had to make sure they were like flip so they cross in the front,
Oh,
and
and
then
then
the
completely in line and parallel with each other. Oh, yep.
yes, it was
Yep.
it was was a struggle, but it
These
came
are the
out
times
great.
where a stylist would be so wonderful. You just
Yeah,
come in
they
and
didn't exactly.
All right.
So
And here we go with the last one.
this was at Orangutan. So this is with
oh,
Mike. Yeah, so this was with Mike Orangutan and Christina,
yes,
his wife, Chris.
yes.
And this is actually for their orangutan girls look. So he, in his backyard, it's actually really cool. He has a little jacuzzi and he has a full like grassy background. And then he has this random red truck just sitting
Hmm.
there, and he just got an RV that they're going to convert into his wife's makeup studio, and all the
I love
clothes are going to
this.
be in it. Yeah, so this was really fun. It was also, I think, the one of the photos that we didn't end up using, where he wanted to see how flexible I was, so I put my leg up on the truck, and he was
Hmm.
just like, "Wow, you can do that?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." Um, but this came out to be a really wonderful photo, and I think
This
you
is
can't see it, but one of the straps, or one of the I guess like shoulder pieces,
Uh-huh.
broke off. So like that's why I'm holding one side of my chest, because I was trying to like pretend that the shoulder was still attached to the shirt, and I was like, all right, we're just gonna pretend like this is perfectly normal.
Yep, yep. Now,
So
when was
yeah,
this?
this
now
is
this is actually
actually
one of my favorites right here.
this yeah. So this is recent. This was, I believe I had a trip. I think it's either I think it was last month or the end of
Oh no.
January
Okay.
that I did this shoot, and they're a very talented couple,
Yes,
Orangutan and
yes.
Chris, and to me they're like a power couple, and their whole house is just like set up for photo shoots. Like they have like a little place like with like big open windows and everything, and it's all
Yeah.
botanical. There's like a bunch of plants everywhere and stuff, and very
Mm-hmm.
hippie vibe. And then there's a little vanity in their other portion of their house with like a dining table and stuff. And then in their bathroom and in part of their walk-in, there's just a bunch of pictures of butts, like
Yes.
Polaroids
Good.
of butts, and it's awesome. And it's just one of my
So
favorite places that I shoot at when I get the
their
chance.
yeah, their whole vibe is so amazing to me. They Christina was in, and I hope I'm going to describe this. I was introduced to her work a couple years ago, maybe in like 2016. I was in this boost group on Facebook, which kind of was like a thing where we would go in. It was most of the people were based in LA, some in New York, and I had just started my Instagram, so I was like a little like tadpole in this group of these amazing creators and artists. And she was in one of the groups at one point that I was in. And so we go in and we would boost each other's stuff on Instagram. And I'm like, these people probably like, okay. Because I had like no followers at this point. And I remember I was introduced to their work then, and I was amazed then. And I've just been following it all since. And I'm like so mind blown. Everything they do makes me smile. Like their relationship makes me smile. Their dynamic, their work, like everything. They're such couples goals. I
Oh yeah,
I
for sure.
love
Like
them.
they're a beautiful soul. Like even the way they talk to
Yeah.
each other, it's
Hmm.
so cute. Like they tease each other a lot, like during shoots and stuff like that, and call each
Yeah.
other names. But it's so cute. Like they'll do little things. It's just you
Yep.
can see that how much they love each other and how much
Yeah.
they're dedicated to their work. That it's like to them, it's like a well-oiled machine. And like they
Yeah.
had an
It
assistant working with
translates.
them too, and a videographer and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's a fun time at the jungle. So.
I love it. I love that. Sonia, we
Well,
have our questions.
yeah. Now we got our 12 questions for you,
I'm ready.
and,
I'm ready to laugh.
she's gonna help me read them off. All right.
Yay.
Okay. 12 questions for Sophia. We're gonna start. Some of these we ask every show. Some of these we may switch it up a little bit. So, first question: what is your favorite word?
Ooh, my favorite word.
Mhm.
I was actually thinking about this yesterday. Effervescent.
That's a
That's a good
great
one.
word.
Good
Effervescent.
word. Now, why is that your favorite?
because I think there's the way you say it is just it like it doesn't roll off the tongue, but it's just a very fun word to say.
Right.
And you can and you can use it describing a lot of different things. Like your personality is effervescent, like you're blooming, you're light, you're shining through. Or like I used it in one of my guided meditations the other day, and I think that's the reason why I picked effervescent. And you're just like, you feel effervescent within your stillness, you feel at peace, vibrance is coming out forth from you, you have light energy from the crown of your chakra, like, and it to me is just like a very happy word. So
I like
Okay.
effervescent.
Good word. What is your least favorite word?
Oh, least favorite word, hate.
That was the same
I
one
think
last week.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know, because like there's
It's
a
an
lot of,
ugly word.
it is an ugly word, like, and the thing is like there's a lot of negativity towards it. So like, and especially within a lot of the Buddhist readings I do, and a lot of things that are either towards yourself or towards others, you shouldn't have hate at all in yourself or towards you.
No.
Like if you ever do believe in reincarnation, then hate is not something that you should possess in order to, you know, not come back as a cricket.
Yeah. I think it's a how do I say this too? I think hate is a lazy word too. There are a lot of better. I think it's a word that people use when they don't really want to get into like I'm frustrated or I'm irritated. I just think hate rolls off easier because and I just think it's a lazy word. I don't like it.
Yeah.
And now I'm gonna start coughing. Karma's gonna hit me right now.
Oh no.
Okay. Question number 3. What turns you on?
Oh, what turns me on? In like just what turns you on?
Yeah, what turns you on?
If I'm thinking of a person or something, probably a smile. Like I feel like a so
Sorry about that.
like a very
That's
like a very like a smirk. Like to me, like I guess, and I think my boyfriend did this the other day. Like he just smiled at me. I was like, oh, okay. Like it's that little thing that can like then turn into something else. That I think
Right.
that's the reason why like smiles to me are very seductive, but also like very like engaging. Like, oh, you want to talk to me or something? You wanna get something going on.
Okay. Question number 4. What turns you off? What turns
What
you
turns
off?
me off? Arrogance.
Okay.
I think that's a big one. Yeah, I think I think it's also because like especially through Instagram and stuff like that, you can be as anonymous as possible because you're typing through a phone and you're not actually talking to the person. So they assume a lot of things about like my life or relationships with my father, and or like because I model in certain fashions and stuff, that they think things and they just say them out loud without thinking. And they're thoughts, they're not produced, and but they're just literally like kind of like hate, like, oh, like it's an instant thing, like, oh, like it's a reaction to how they are. And that really does bug me sometimes, like just arrogance in its form is ooh, not in any form, it's kind of rude.
Agree. Yep.
Uh-oh, I think Jamie's trying to read a question, but he's
Tony?
not. I think he's
wait.
muted.
My bad. I'm getting like confused here. All right. What sound or noise do you love?
I'm sorry?
What sound or noise do you love?
What sound or noise do I love? Sound or noise? That's interesting. I love purring. Like when my cats purr. Yeah, like, and it's
That's
a very
happy noise.
It's a happy noise. Yeah, that or like giggling.
That's comforting.
Like, yeah, because like if ever, because like I can never sleep just like in my bed alone because I have like a dog, like my boyfriend's on one side, my dog's on the other, another cat, and so like I know everyone's settled when when my cat starts to purr on my arm, and I can actually go to sleep. Like everything's just like nice and peaceful, and they're at
So
peace
her
too.
purr signals the relaxation.
Yes,
Mhm.
that they settled
Is that
in
what it
after
is?
making cupcakes on my arm for like an hour, and I'm like, okay, we're all good now. We're all
I'm going to try that noise on her right now. Okay, next question. What sound or noise do you hate?
good. Oh, sound. Honking, like a car honk. You hear that a lot in my like in Miami or just in general, and I think it's just
No.
like it's
It's
always a
just so
signal that
rude.
like
Yeah.
yeah, it's rude. Like the thing is just like you don't know what that other person's going through. Maybe they are getting, maybe they're distracted by looking at their phone, but or like they're just not paying attention. They're in like deep in thought, or
Right.
they're like the car all the way at the back of the line, and they honk. And they don't know what's happening in the front.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, my mom
Okay.
always says like you're
They're just letting
never
everyone
in a
know they're not
rush.
happy.
Exactly, you're never in a rush to get anywhere, unless you're actually chasing someone. You can have the patience to just relax and mellow out where you're driving. Just
Yes.
leave it enough time.
Yep.
Okay, next question. What are your favorite qualities in a man?
Favorite qualities in a man: good sense of humor. Big thing for me. I don't like taking life too seriously, but at the same time, there are moments where you should be serious. Um, Having an open heart is a really big thing, and trust. I think that especially like when I go out on shoots and stuff like that, and I'm doing certain photos and stuff, like trust is a really big thing that I have with my boyfriend, because we know that nothing is going to happen, or he comes with me because he wants to know that I'm in good hands, that I'm taken care of and everything. So yeah, those are the big endearing qualities, and a smile. That's a physical thing, not a quality.
Yeah, no, that's cool. All right. Okay, that was question number 7. Question number 8. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Um, so I think this was based off a cartoon that I saw the other day. It's like, I'm surprised you're here, but I'm happy you are. Like that, I feel like that'd be the response. Like you did enough to make it, and that's good. I think
You
that's
just slid in.
just slid in there.
Snuck in. All right, question number 9. Um, what is the absolute worst name you could give a child?
Oh my. Um, there was articles about this years ago, where people would name their daughters Femel or female, and they'd spell it like very funky to make it look really artsy, like
Oh.
FEMELEE, or family, like female, just naming them female. Or they just
Oh.
didn't come. Yeah, and there was several like that.
Uh,
That were
that's
just like,
interesting.
yeah, and I feel like that'd be like, or like calling, or just like girl, just like very basic, like not an actual name, just like a
Yeah.
label of their gender. I think that'd be really
That's
harsh.
a label. Yeah.
Exactly, like it's not a name, and so
Yeah, I would not like
I'd
that.
be heartbroken if my mom called me girl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very rough.
All right, that was question
I'm
number
with you
9.
there.
Question 10. If you were arrested without an explanation, what would your friends and family assume that you did?
Hmm. What? Let's see. They would assume that well, I used to do this when I was younger, but I don't really do it anymore, especially for photo shoots and stuff. I'd worked with photographers that would like break into abandoned warehouses or like places that were condemned that you're not supposed to shoot in at all because it's like private property or it's illegal or something. I think that would be the reason why I would get arrested, because I've had some photo shoots in some interesting places, and I feel like I almost did
Yeah.
get arrested.
Breaking and
And that
entering.
probably exactly. And so like it wouldn't be like bad thing, but it would be you're breaking the law. And my parents would definitely be like, "Yep, she's stuck into something." Like I feel like that's like the instant thing. Like, oh, she went somewhere she wasn't supposed to be. So
Yeah, I don't really see you getting arrested, so that sounds about right. I don't see
I
you
do my
doing
best to
anything
like,
too wild.
yeah, just my photos are really cool. That's about it.
Yeah,
All right.
your ethics and morals seem fine.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Question 11. If you could go back and tell your 12-year-old self one piece of advice, what would you say?
Don't try to follow the trends and don't care too much what other people think about you. I think that was something that kind of like was really into my head, especially like um being like kind of the odd kid in school, like super skinny, super nerdy and stuff, and like always carrying like, oh, am I wearing the right shoes? Or my shorts, are my pants too like cool enough and stuff like that. Like image is everything, and I think that's something that I would definitely tell myself, like being like, it's okay, you don't have to be on trend, you just have to be yourself. Just don't care if someone else is doing something else. You don't have to do that. Like I think that's the biggest advice I
Yeah.
definitely tell my younger self.
A
I like how
good
she's
one.
counting her fingers.
Well, if you guys could hear what she was saying, that's yeah. I've had to mute it, but she's been juggling away. Last question. What is how was it stated again? What is the most unusual or embarrassing thing that's happened to you on a shoot?
Um, it was I think it was a little embarrassing. So I shot in Louisiana in New Orleans, and the photographer had a penthouse, actually facing the canal, like the beautiful water. And I think it was a Tuesday or Wednesday, and we were shooting on his balcony. We were doing actually completely nude and implied. And so he was just like, "All right, just sit on the balcony edge and we'll take photos." Um, that was the first time I ever got honked at by a boat, and it happened 10 times that day. I didn't know if
He's
it had
like,
binoculars or
yeah.
anything or whatnot, but every time you
It's
literally
very
hear,
startling.
yes, and I'm like bouncing on a
It's
balcony,
very
trying not to
startling.
fall to like 40 feet, being like, oh, someone is in a boat, seeing that I'm not wearing much clothing up there. But yeah,
Yep.
that was definitely embarrassing.
Yep. I'm familiar, and I have almost fallen off of something as well. Because when you don't know, the first one, when you don't know that's coming, I don't know if I've ever recognized just how loud that really is.
Yeah.
It like vibrates the balcony that you were like probably vibrated it. It's
Oh
so
yeah, it did, and
scary.
it was like I felt like it was shaking, and I was just like, "Oh my God, what is that?" And I was like, "Oh, that's a boat." Wow.
Yep. Really loud. He must be muted still.
I think so.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
What you doing over there, Tony?
She's saying bye to the nanny. No, that's those are the 12 questions,
Awesome.
and yeah, I was thinking of the boat thing because yeah, you're right. That thing is freaking loud. Those things are loud. How many people were on there?
Yep.
Oh, well, it was just me, but then like the boat, so there's like a steamboat that goes around New Orleans and everything, and around the
Oh,
canal and
that's
stuff.
like
And
a
then there's
paddle
like
boat.
no, what's it called? They have like the giant propeller.
Yeah, that's which
Oh,
one. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah,
what are those called?
it was.
Steamboats?
I think yeah. So there's a steamboat there. I think it was like called the Jungle or something, or Mystify the Jungle Cruise or something. That went up.
Yeah.
That went by a few times, and then there was just a bunch of like cargo ships and small boats that would
Yep.
pass along, but they weren't small because apparently I could hear their their horns.
Mhm.
But yeah, it happened quite often a day, and yeah,
That's funny.
it was still fun.
All right, lesson learned, right? Lesson learned. All right. Well,
Mhm.
thank you so much for joining us today. That was
Yes,
fun.
thank you.
Thank you for
And
having me. It was awesome.
yeah, Yeah, for those of y'all that are watching again, to follow Sophia, her link to her link to her Instagram is on the caption, and hopefully we can get you. I know I was Jamie. I was talking to Tabitha. If you remember Tabitha Rue from Florida,
Uh-huh.
we were talking
Yeah.
about doing one of those
Yeah.
photo destination workshops up in Utah.
Yes.
So I'm thinking, Sophia, you
Yes.
gotta be there.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, to all.
So we'll have to. I'll be getting together with you to see what we can do about that. Now that hopefully we can start making some travel plans
Yeah.
this year. Yeah,
Cool.
but follow Sophia, and of course, for those of you all interested in yoga, I know there's a link from your Instagram bio, right? I think I
think
saw
so.
that on there.
I'm only doing really privates and everything like that, but if you are actually like solely interested in yoga, you can reach out to me in my DMs and stuff. And I think, have a work email attached to my page too. So
Right, right. Well, thank you again so much for joining us.
thank you. It was so fun, even with
Yes.
a little one.
Yeah,
Getting
yeah.
her
Well,
lovely parents.
it's one of those rare nights. She's. I think this is the second or third time she's done this, right?
Yeah.
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 She usually she's knocked out by 7:30, but tonight, not happening. But anyway, thank you so much. Hopefully, we'll have you back on the show again. And for those of y'all watching again, if you're on a podcast, feel free to go to our Facebook or YouTube to go ahead and see the video. And of course, for those of y'all watching, thanks to Justin for his comments, and for everybody else for watching. And feel free to subscribe to our channel. We'll see you guys next time. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye.